Wait, don't move. I'll push your chair. Welcome to the interview.
Yeah.
I need you to sign a consent form. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
welcome, Yaryna, to the grand interview, the gerbil. Yeah. I need to cut the part out. Yeah.
I'm Yaryna, and I'm from Ukraine. I'm currently 18, and I agreed on this interview because some things are interesting to do in your life, and usually when there is opportunity, I'd like to take it. And I try to live with no regrets, so if I wouldn't try, I would regret it later, so better to do it than regret. And yeah. Louis,
Yes.
what's your Chinese name?
赞超好.
Zhan Zhaohao?
Yes. Easiest Chinese name to pronounce because it's all like consonants. Zan, Chao, and Hao. It all starts with a consonant.
Oh, this year Instagram name also.
Yeah. Chanzo. Yeah. So it's just,
Cool, smart.
Right. So
Oh, I think it's a good idea to do that. Like, I would do that too if I would have more time, but you actually find time to be creative and spend time doing all the things that are interesting for you, so I appreciate it.
Thank you. And I wish I could make money from it sometime later.
Yeah, I swear, the amount of work you do, you're gonna use it in the future.
In your introduction, you mentioned that you strive to have no regrets.
Yeah.
What is FOMO to you, and how do you deal with it?
Formal.
No, FOMO, fear of missing
Oh,
out. Yeah.
I would say that almost everything that I do is because of FOMO. Which is funny, as in our life, we all humans, I'd say, they try to get as much as possible from the life because we only have one life, and by understanding that you only live once, you try to like YOLO too. You try to take as much as possible, and for me, FOMO is something that could be in the same way as motivation and inspiration to do as much as you can, but also a limitation and fear, because I quite don't agree with motivation of fear, even though I usually do it. For me, I would say a lot of things that I'm going to be telling later are going to be like a little bit self-contradictory, because I'd say my personality is mixed with things that are not either black or white, but combined. So it's going to be like one thing I say that, I think that motivation driven by fear is not the best thing, because there's any other types of motivation that you want to discover, you want to explore, but you don't have to push yourself through fear. But also, most of my actions are going to be made due to fear. So it's kind of, as I said, self-contradictory, but...
Yeah, okay. Good answer.
Wow.
So you mentioned, again, FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yes.
However, what you described, it sounds more to me like shame.
Yeah.
So, do you think FOMO, in your opinion, is really fear-based, or is it shame-based? Should it be SOMO? Shame of missing out.
Depends on what perspective do you have towards the world. If you're looking from perspective of existentialism, for example, then you decide, and then it's going to be your own fear that you didn't try as much as you could have, or as much as your own intention of fulfilling yourself tells you. This is like in this way. In nihilism, they would say, it doesn't matter, so FOMO wouldn't exist at all, because there's no point, right? In another perspective, I think that would be maybe absurdalism, because there is a conflict between mind and desire, and this is probably could be in perspective of absurdalism, you would say FOMO is SOMO, because it's about how your desire and how the human brain works sometimes contradicts and conflicts, and the real world also conflicts with what you want to fulfill. So sometimes the idea that is made by society and idea that you have in your mind will conflict and kind of absurd.
So for
it depends on the perspective that you're looking at.
And what is your perspective on this?
Okay, absurdalism, I would choose. Then I would say that we believe in SOMO.
Okay. So you mentioned the conflict between societal whims and selfhood. Do you think now? Okay, at first glance, it would sound like a bad thing, you know, like conforming to like the larger currents of society, like what it wants to tell you. Like if your community tells you, "Oh, you must join this. If you don't, you're gonna miss out so much," and they sort of like guilt you into doing it. Is that necessarily a bad thing to be guilt or to be shamed into doing something? Do you think?
Oh, you're asking the question that have so many different ways of like be discovered or like be answered.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna say that this is, of course, I would say that there is no straight answer, yes or no, towards that, because yes, in some way I agree that feeling guilt would be nice, but if you're gonna go through perspective of mental health, I wouldn't say that using guilt is kind of appropriate or morally correct, you know, ethically in this way.
Why is guilt nice?
Guilt nice, you can tell me. Guilt nice in the way that it's pushing you towards something. And if you're gonna say, oh, is it better to stay in the one spot or to move forward, I would say it's better to move and explore. And if guilt is something that drives you towards this exploration, then it's not necessarily a bad thing.
I see. You mentioned, okay.
Good memory.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Yaryna, do you procrastinate?
Yes.
Are you a big procrastinator?
Yes.
All right. So.
Oh, but I would say my procrastination is because of the things that I want to do first, and I put these things behind my priorities.
Interesting.
I would say that for me right now, priority is to spend time with my friends. So I'd rather talk to my friends for like hours and go to bed at 4 a.m. as I did yesterday, rather than sleep and do some work or be relaxed, because it's also connected to my desire and not just of fear of missing out.
So what you're saying is that to you, procrastination is subjective. It depends on like your priorities.
Generally, procrastination is also connected to like, you know, that being lazy is not necessarily because you are lazy, but because your brain is stopping you from doing things that it feels that it's dangerous or bad for you. So you try to be it's like self-defensive mechanism that tries to put the things that you don't want to do and that you have anxiety doing on background, like something like, oh, I'm gonna do it later, rather than confronting it, because it's how like also our brain works.
Including homework, including
anything that causes anxiety or some feeling that is making you stressed. And right now we live in such a world that there are so many things that are not naturally like made by nature. Oh my god. But because we would have a natural stress, and now we have a human-made stress because of all the things that we created.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Good segue. Let's move on to the prompt questions. To begin with, is there a moment you think about more than people would expect?
Okay. To answer this question, I would come back to the question itself and say, oh, what do you mean by expect, and why do you ask this in the first place? Because like expectation would be from yourself, from the society, from your like technical or mental side. There's so many different ways that you would describe this feeling, and because you could say, again, I'm gonna come back to absurdism, nihilism, and existentialism. In the way, if you decide that perspective of the world depends on you and you can decide the sense of it, then you're gonna decide the expectation. And then for me, there's no expectation from what I'm gonna be thinking about, because I am me, so I don't have expectations, because I already know myself, and it's more natural thing that happens like one-on-one. Oh, I did it. I couldn't expect or not expect it because I'm already doing it. It's excluding the like whole sense of expectations.
Yeah, I get it.
And nihilism is no one will care, and there is no point in expecting something. And yeah, like, and I think that also answered the question, because this is what I'm not sure you would expect this from me, to answer this question like that.
I see.
This is the thing that like, oh, maybe someone wouldn't expect me to think about the question, about the expectations, and about what you're thinking.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
How about I give a scenario, right? Let's say, regarding this question, is there a moment you think about more than people would expect? Let's say,
specific case.
Yeah, let's say speculatively, say you have been turned into a book. Every single person in this world has read your book. They know you completely, from head to toe. So they know all the like very niche details and very like boring things, interesting things, everything. From the tiniest details to the most elaborate events that happen in your life. So of course they will have their own like judgments about how you think they are, right? Now, what is something that you think about more than they would if they saw your life, an event, or like a little thing?
Okay, but this is so personal, like in the sense that for me, my life would be I'm thinking about things that are happening in the moment, and more than it I should be. I'm not like, usually people try to think about the future, they get stuck thinking about the past, but I'm mostly trying to think about what's going on in the present so much that I kind of get lost within the present, within the future past spaces. And I think this like of me acting sometimes unexpectedly, like I'm gonna do something that I don't even expect from myself, and because I just do it with the flow. Sometimes I rely on the flow too much. Sometimes I do actions that are I try to think about each action that I do, but self-contradiction is within me, and before I try to kind of ignore it and try to, oh, this is a wrong thing, I need to be either that or that, I need to agree that or that, but I would say self-contradiction.
I see. So you said basically you leave everything up to chance and fate.
I don't like fate.
Okay, let's say chance then.
Yes.
Chance. That's a pretty absurdist worldview. Are you an absurdist?
I love Camus and his books and the point of view that he tries to convey, but right now I wouldn't put myself into any of the labels of what I believe. Like, yeah, absurdism could be really close to me, but I don't necessarily fully agree with everything.
Let's say, could you make a metaphor about your worldview? Let's say, so Harry, basically. I'm gonna use Harry as an example. Okay. Harry sees... Oh, I'm having an interview here! So Harry, he believes... Okay, he likes to... This is Harry's metaphor, by the way. So he likes to see life paths, or like our general directions in life as the path a trail of ants would go. So he sees people as ants, right? Some ants follow each other in the trail. Some ants accidentally veer off, and sometimes they die. I mean, most times they die. Sometimes they meet new ants and form a new colony, a new community, something. And some ants, they veer off, maybe find a sugar cube or anything, right? Maybe some ants veer off and they fall into a river and gets washed away. Now, he described his own perspective on life. So he wants himself to be an ant who has no, like, who messes up and, like, accidentally goes out of line, messes things up, but gets to, like, you know, experience a lot of these weird things that you usually wouldn't experience if you just follow the line. And he also doesn't necessarily want other ants to follow him. Now, that is his metaphor. Do you have a similar one?
I don't have it, but like now I would create it.
Yeah.
Harry's one is really realistic, and it kind of shows him more adventurous and more risky taker than he looks like. But like, this is a nice thing. I would say that if we're gonna talk about humans and personalities, why don't we talk about them as it's gonna sound so obvious. Okay. Okay. Stars.
Stars, okay.
Because there's different types of stars. We have
Interesting.
we
Okay.
have a Helpstroke diagram, and it explains different types of stars and how they're connected to their luminosity, but also some planets go into that, like exoplanets. It's the less bright, like the most dual stars, if you can say so. They're really close to planets, but they're not, so they're like, I really love them, exoplanets. They're really nice. I'd like to discover more of them, and I'll discover more information about them. And I would say that stars have different lifespan and how they evolve, but at least each of them still is unique. And like, by what I'm saying, I would say that it's existentialism closely, because I believe that each of us is actually unique, and before that internet theory, we actually have personality, and all of us are kind of actually humans. And I would say that as humans are made from the all particles that are made in the beginning of the Big Bang, the same for stars, so there's not that many difference between us. And if you're gonna look at us, stars also die, but they also evolve into something. And I remember in the Harry's metaphor or something, he would say that there is a lot of explanation about connection to people and towards what they're gonna do within the community, but I would mostly focus on how you act as individual in the society. And even though we all live in one universe in the same way as stars, I would rather be looking at the perspective of us growing individually and seeing the all connection that we have as something, as actions that we make purposely, and each action has their own idea behind it. So like, if you want to follow someone, there's binary stars that are going to be following each other all the time. But if you're going to change your direction, binary stars can also like change their ways and go into different directions within the long distance, as in the same way for humans, the long distance would separate you and make you more individualistic than you were together. And pretty much the worldview as an universe, and physically and mentally.
I like that metaphor. Like that's not cliche at all, actually. So you approach it from a very scientific,
I'm
standpoint.
putting myself into answers, as you said.
Yeah, of course. Personal. This is very good. So you mentioned, I like how you sort of maybe you consciously did it, but to me, it feels like you unconsciously, like, since you related humans to stars, right? Which you basically scaled us up to the billionth. Right, so you gave all of us more substance, right? You gave us more significance, more importance, because stars, they're big, right? They're like even the smallest stars, right? So you mentioned exoplanets, even them, they can impact those like a lot, right? A lot.
They could be big, but their luminosity is really small. So they could be much smaller stars, like neutron stars. But the luminosity and the power that goes from them is much bigger. So it's like not even size depending. It's more what you have within yourself, what your origin, what's your how it's called that in the atoms we have nuclear core.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
Let's move on. Next question. What kind of silence do you find comforting, and which kind unsettles you?
It's an easy question. If you're going to be finding silence comforting no matter what, if you're in the peace with yourself. So if you are not afraid to stay alone with your thoughts, and not alone but quiet, because the silence makes you think about things, and silence not giving you the background noise that kind of distracts you from everything, and in silence you cannot hide from your own brain. So if you are in the peace with yourself, if you accepting your thoughts and like accept this like instead of running away from them, you're gonna be okay with silence with people, silence alone in the room, silence in the anywhere. And unsettling, it's always gonna be if you are afraid of your own thoughts and if you don't know who you are. So,
I see. Pretty good.
You're grading my answers.
No, I'm not. I'm writing. I'm writing some summaries down. So you said I really liked your statement about how silence is constant while perception is temporary.
Thank you for putting in such nice words.
Well, I mean, I'm a writer. I can only do as much.
I really appreciate that because me is more a person that is afraid of writing because I cannot put any words together. I'd rather put it in the numbers and try to look it from scientific analogies than writing in a paper. That's why for me it's like, whoa, it's freaking talent. Like, bro, I cannot do that.
Well, I mean, we all just need some practice.
Yes.
I'm sure that if you switch up your priorities a bit or add some in there, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So no problem. Moving on. Have you ever grown out of something you once thought defined you? Be it a idea, a notion of a worldview, or like a preconceived bias, or like a habit,
You
anything.
really want to have a specific answer, but I'm gonna give you another.
No problem.
Okay.
Your answers currently are all very, very satisfying.
Oh wow, I'm so glad. Like, you're ready to be disappointed at some point. Don't have any expectations. We live in this state of constant change. Oh, every single day, every single second, you grow up from who you were before, and this is what defines you as a person. You're not just something, a fact, but you're a flow of the facts that are combined within you. So, of course, I grew up from something. I changed my mind. I came back to some ideas that I could ignore, or something that I would believe that is bad thing, but then it's a good thing. I just think that any example that I would say would still be in the same statement, because no matter what you grow up from, it's something that was important for you, or was kind of hinted by society or like your family, friends to think about, and then you kind of look it in within yourself and find the answer that, oh, actually I don't really agree, or don't agree, or do agree with that. And then you decide to continue thinking about it, and then either growing up. Like, I could use... I would say that I grew up in the moment when I came here, as I'm still growing up even within this conversation, because I find new information, I question myself more, and it still like helps me to grow up as a person, and not even like grew up, but move, And before I was scared to try some difficult things, and I told myself, and when I came here, I didn't put myself into the math of like higher level because I was so scared of it. I told myself I cannot do it. Everyone was telling that, oh, it's such a scary thing, don't do it, don't suffer. The same with like physicsy, it's more like objective things that you can see, and right now they're like influencing my life, so I could use it as an example. But I said to myself, no regrets, and even though I never tried before, I wanted to apply to Olympiads, I wanted to apply to something that would be challenging for me, but I always did a step back. But then I decided to grow up from this sphere, and I asked to move to that higher level, and I never regret it. The same with physics, still though I kind of regret it, but I'm enjoying doing it, and I'm enjoying doing something that moves me forward.
See, that's quite personal.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, I picked out a pretty interesting thing in the first 20% of your answer. You said change defines us, not our original compositions. Now, I want you to think about this idea, right? There's approximately, I don't know, I'm making a number up, but let's say 700 billion cells in our body. Every 8, 7.5. Let's say 8. Every 8 years, no, so millions die every day, right? Basically, and it gets replaced for mitosis and stuff. Now, every 8 years, technically, every single cell in your body has now been replaced by a new cell. So like, you're no longer what you started, right? So you're no longer you when you're in like baby form, you know? So, now your answer to this, you said change defines us, which means you sort of said change is constant, right? In this case, it makes a very interesting answer to the ship of Theseus. You know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the ship of Theseus, it's not defined by like its use or like its soul or like its various perceptions, blah blah, remembrances. It's not defined by them anymore, right? According to your answer, the ship of Theseus is defined by change, right? Like it's only the ship of Theseus because it just keeps getting changed. We are changed. That's what you're saying. So I find that really interesting. Good point. Now, next question. What part of your thinking do you feel came from your early development?
Rise in action, early development, childhood, if I can say so. First, I wanted to say, my music taste.
Okay.
But then it came back to relation with people because apparently I like some things that are liked by my parents. Some films, some music, my interest, apparently even interest about the science fiction. It also came from my dad because we were watching movies together that are about space and stars and etc. So relations with people kinda defined what I would like too, and that's what I'm trying to fight. Like, I noticed this, I understood, I acknowledged, and now I look back and when I meet a new person, I like this new person as a friend, something that is inspiring for me, I'm gonna try to take their personality, their music taste, their film taste. I like to get to know them as much as possible so I can kinda get it for myself too, because this is how low language works. And I think that in early development, how you build communication with people, or how you build this like low language, not in the sense of just low because you can low everyone around you, and this like relation to other people that you have. So in the beginning, that's what happened, that I easily get affected by people that I love, by people that I found important for me, inspiring, interesting. And by now, I still, if my friends like something, I would mostly, like, it's much more possible that I'm just gonna continue doing what they're doing, and I would like the same things that they're doing. And now I'm trying to build more my thing, so I'm trying to look at something that is more connected to me and not to others, because I don't want to get lost with the others.
You mentioned that you were seeking out a identity of your own. Would you agree? Like, would you say, right? It doesn't need to be agree. Would you say that okay, maybe not would you say. Do you think an example, right? I love giving examples. A scenario, right? A person.
Yeah.
Let's call him Ben, right? Ben has 10 friends. Now Ben takes 10% out of each of his 10 friends' personalities, and he mushes them together. He makes it 100%, and he swallows it. Now, is that 10% like collective? Is that one? Okay, wait, what? Is that 100% collective thing?
Or is it the thing of just his friends? Yeah. Is it individual thing or collection? Each of us is collection of people that we love, like the museum of people that visited or had the relations to us. So I think it's like the question about the chicken and egg. What comes first? Is it him who decided to meet those people and get closer to them because it's within him, or if he just took it because it was around him. And like in the first place, if he decided so, it's his personality because he's choosing some parts, he's choosing to be who he is. But if it just happens naturally, it's not a bad thing to be made by 10% of other people, because we are, in case, like, we are biologically and personally made by 1-2% of each person that we see every day. We just like, it's in human nature to kind of repeat, adapt, and mimic people around us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's true. At the start, you mentioned your love for science fiction, right? Let's go into a more concrete.
Nerd.
Sure, nerd. How would you define science fiction as a genre? Like, what do you think counts as science fiction?
Okay.
Give me like an example for and an example against.
Okay. I'm doing a comparative study for my film class, and I chose a genre that is science fiction.
Okay.
So it's a good practice for me, because I'm going to be working on that. And for comparative study, it's important for us to choose different films to show the range of the genre. And science fiction is something that there's two types also, because if we would say, not two types, sorry. Science fiction could be a fantasy if it's too much of unrealistic things and it's not connected to real world at all. Like there's two types of fantasy, low and high. This one's, and science fiction is more about incorporating science and technology in the way that it could be fiction. It's not necessarily be realistic, because then it could be just a realism genre or documentary. But But I would say the example for Interstellar, it's easy example.
Okay.
Because it talks about science and it uses one of the main themes as a science, as cosmology and both astronomy as well. And technologies by traveling in space, time, theoretical physics and stuff. This is a good example of science fiction because they also tried to explain, they tried to use our human science and develop it and see how in future it could be possible. So it's more fiction, like a three-body problems is also one of like really good science fiction for me.
Okay.
Something that is not science fiction would be a realistic documentary about technologies that we have, even though it could be using some scientific knowledge and describing it in the way that how we use technologies in every single day. But it wouldn't be science fiction because it's just a documentary. It doesn't have enough inspiration and enough bravery to look beyond what we have now. That's why it stays beside science fiction. It's one step closer, but a big step that it needs to take.
How about I give you Alright, wait a minute. I gotta
record it.
I'll give you two examples. You tell me which one you think is more like towards your conception of sci-fi.
Okay.
First example, Star Wars.
You know that Star Wars are actually the Western. It was based by cowboy movies and it just developed in the.
No, it's a space opera. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, no. Wait. Both of them first, and I would say that.
How much?
In my perspective, I would say that 10% science fiction.
And 90%, okay.
Yeah, because of space and futurism.
All right. Yeah. How about Dune?
Oh, Dune. It's also really close to that, but it's much more fiction in the sense because they have a whole universe like build it. Maybe it's because it's my own preferences that I like more Dune than Star Wars, and then because of that I would agree that Dune has more science fiction within it, but the plots are similar in the way of that they both have main structure of like kind of linear structure of the world, that there are lower people, higher people, this people, that people, there's conflict between them. The general idea is the same, but how they extrapolate that, it's different. Okay, let's give it 50.
Alright, okay, good stuff. Moving on.
Yes.
Have you ever surprised yourself by how you reacted to something?
Oh, that would be quite personal question. It's all going about the same thing as well, but as I'm coming from Ukraine, the war started, and it wasn't something that you would expect, but my reaction about it a bit surprised me, because the first thing I was doing is reading a physics book, and I just told myself that I need to do it, and while I could just wake up, be in bed for the whole day and do nothing, because the apathy of not knowing if you can be alive or not because of the environment that you are, it's kind of what makes you feel also pathetic and disappointed, hopeless, depressed, blah blah blah. But I still like to read and make myself read, like even if I didn't want it, this was the only one thing that I would put my effort into, which I'm still surprised, but I think it's what fueled me and gave me some strength later.
What do you tend to notice that other people overlook?
Like, I would say that empathy, and because I couldn't, like, being with people, usually I have the feeling that I understand them. And, like, in general, like, sometimes it clicks for me, you have this pattern of behavior, as I'm your friend, like, I'm just gonna be, I will know how you're gonna act or what do you feel, but it's narcissistic to even assume that I know, because like everyone is different, and like I would just I would say that I'm a little bit more understandable than most of the people, just because understanding someone is the thing that I will put effort into no matter what. It's one of the things that I've been trying to work on, like for many years. All of my, also like my dreams, each time that you have a birthday cake, starting from like I was 9 or 10, every single time I was asking for one thing, and it was like, it was about people around me. So like I tend to be a little bit caring, and a little bit sometimes more caring.
So you mentioned empathy, right?
Yeah.
Let's put it in a competition, right? Being empathetic versus being very observant, right? So would you rather question, right? Would you rather
smash or pass?
Would you rather be empathetic, or would you rather be observant? In other words, would you rather connect but not understand, or understand but not connect?
Can I not say that these things are equal in the sense that are connected? No, we only...
Explain.
With observing, for me, if I will observe, that will give me enough information to understand. And if I understand, I will also be able to tell the reasons of why. So you have to be observant.
I see.
But like...
So they're not mutually exclusive then?
They're not mutually exclusive.
I see.
If you can understand someone, how dare you to tell that you understand someone if you don't even know why, what, or something? Like, you don't see the logical build-up of it. I would say, like, the idea that you look for so many details and that you're trying to be observant, it's also like trying to understand the answer. You're not just ignoring it, and you're trying to find the reason, or, you said this, you're looking for it, and this is what I find interesting, and really respectful. Like, I respect that.
Thank you.
Yeah.